What's happening, everybody? I'm back. It's me, resident supervillain, Mr. J. Washington. I'm here with the Season 1, Episode 5 review of Stargirl on the DC Universe and the CW as well. And if you have not seen this episode, come on back because it will be spoilers. Thank you, everybody, for checking out episodes 1 through 4 reviews that I've dropped here on the channel. I told y'all in episode 4 I was supposed to be here with Wednesday Marshall. He's not here. He's been busy. He hasn't even started watching the show. So I was like, fuck it, I'll go ahead and do these reviews. I mean, it's nothing. It's nothing. I want him here. He'll be here. Hopefully he'll catch up, and then we'll do those, all right? I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I love the direction this show is going because I was talking to one of my homeboys about the show. He's a writer on another show. We were talking about how even though the show gets dark at many points throughout it, it still leaves you with hope. It's something about its characters and its cast that give you that sense of everything will be all right, even though things may go wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like in the very beginning, where we're introduced to our man, Rex Tyler, as he is getting him and his wife, Wendy, and he's writing formulas first and foremost. And then we see him put all his stuff and his information in the envelope, and he mails it off to Pat Dugan 9 years ago when he's living in NoHo. You know what I'm saying? North Hollywood, for those who've never been in the area of North Hollywood, California. Don't many people call it North Hollywood. But anyway, mails it off to him and then tells, gets his son Rick and tells Rick, he's going to have to stay with his uncle Matt. And Matt is Wendy's brother. And he's like, yo, what do you want me to do? And he's like, yo, here, take care of him. We changed his name. His name's now Rick Harris. He's technically your kid now. You got 50 G's under the bed. We out. And Matt is like, the fuck? Like, what do you mean? Like, yo, I got to wait, I was going to be here for a couple of days, bro. I'm not going to raise your kid. So you can already see the seeds of resentment having that put on him that happens early. Like, I wonder, is it just because this is a TV show? Because we've heard of many parents who aren't ready to be parents, who have given up guardianship for their kids. But I wonder, has there ever been a situation in real life where somebody's just like, look, this is your kid now. Like, I can't do this. Some things might happen. It's your child. They got your last name. You take care of them. You got a house. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't talk about Matt's life beforehand. But nonetheless, we see that, and we see Rex and Wendy driving off. And then as they're driving, running away, Solomon Grundy, another silhouette of Solomon Grundy, if you will. Like, we haven't even seen the full Solomon Grundy yet, which I'm kind of excited for. I'm glad that they're teasing us with it. Like, we know that's him. We know that's a close to comic book accurate version of Solomon Grundy. As I always say, I've always wanted a Solomon Grundy. I thought we were going to get it in season 2 of Arrow. We didn't. Came that close. Gotham started on a good path and then made Grundy have like regular conversation, and it fell off. But from there we see then after that we fast forward to present day, where we see Rick is working on a car and he does not get along with Matt at all. And clearly Matt has been abusive. They've been fighting and shit, and like they've been abusive, and Matt just sells his stuff and just really holds the resentment over his head. Like, I understand as an adult, if you are just put upon responsibilities that you didn't want to take, that you will be resentful. You will be upset that your life couldn't go the way it was. Fair. Understandable completely. But to take that out on the child who had nothing to do with it, who didn't ask for any of this, like, I think that's bogus. But also I love the lesson and the story that, again, this show shows. Also, again, I can always praise its cinematography. Beautiful cinematic values. We go to Courtney waking up in the room. You know what I'm saying? She gets woken up by her brother with that mask, and it scared the piss out of me too. But the dog, I love the fact the dog goes in her closet and finds her Stargirl suit, which, by the way, somebody got to really teach Courtney how to be a superhero. Like, you can't just throw your uniform in the closet on the floor just thinking nobody gonna do that, because, like, her mom almost peeped it. Like, get your shit together. Like, but she's learning. The fact that she decides she wants to go recruit more JSM members, and she talks to Yolanda in school and is trying to find out who to recruit. And before then, she's driving with Pat. The car breaks down. She's like, are you a real mechanic? Which is like, yo, you own an auto shop, dog. Like, your car should run no matter what. And Rick is walking to school, and while he walks past and he's helping Pat, the hourglass lights up. It reacts to him, and she pays attention to it. And then she doesn't understand fully why. She tells him, she eventually tries to, catch him up later. I'm not going to go bit by bit, but she eventually tries to tell Rick. And Rick's like, yo, you on that shit? You high? You on your drug? You taking your medication? Because I wouldn't believe anybody as well if you just told me out the blue that my parents were superheroes and this is a legacy item that my father left. I would be reluctant as well. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be just as quick to jump into it. So I kind of get that. But like I said, when we go to the school, you see Yolanda and Courtney trying to figure out who to recruit next to be the next members of the JSA, and the next member she's looking for is the new Dr. Midnight as well as Our Man. And Beth is following because remember previous episode, Beth saw them climbing and outside the hospital and heard Courtney say Yolanda as opposed to saying Wildcat. So Beth is already known and she just wants to find out more and more information. And so she goes, I love the fact she goes to Courtney's crib and the mom lets her in, like, yo, she's like, I'm a friend of Courtney's. Mom's real nice, clone in. And the dog is chewing on the goggles. And she's like, yo, should the dog be chewing on these? And she sneaks up to Courtney's room, sees where a superhero lives, puts the goggles on and activates the goggles of Dr. Midnight. Now, I was hoping at first they were going to do a little spin on it, that one of her parents were actually Dr. Midnight, because I seen the way it was kind of going. Granted, Yolanda doesn't have direct ties to Ted Grant as Wildcat. Yes, Rick Harris, we find out is Rick Tyler, who is, is Our Man's son. Courtney is Starman's daughter. So I didn't know we were going to keep going that route or we're going to keep playing back and forth where Dr. Midnight was the new Dr. Midnight, she's the offspring of the other Dr. Midnight. But comes to find out, she's not. She's not. But she puts on the goggles and find out what the goggles can do and how I can teach them. And it's AI on an advanced level. And Courtney comes home, sees it, and she's like, yo, I already know about y'all. We'll have to bam. And so she gets her and Yolanda. They're like, yo, we need to talk to Rick because of what this is. And they meet up at a Halloween party. And the thing about the party that was interesting just out the gate was Yolanda was like, I'm not going in the house because she saw Henry there. She still has her own level of PTSD. She's learning to be this new Yolanda. She's learning how to deal with everything. She's just learning how to try to say fuck it. But at the same time, the person who screwed her over, the person who made all of this her life a living hell, was there and she didn't want to go. And Cindy is throwing the party. Now, I couldn't remember Cindy was her name. I didn't realize she's the Dragon King's daughter. So she's the Dragon King's daughter. I want to know what her abilities are, because I'm assuming she's going to be evil as shit. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. She had one of her flunky friend, her ride or die, because there's always one of them, the most popular mean girl in the school, has that one girl behind her who's her best friend, but it's like her flunky, and she wore the same costume, and Cindy made her go change. I'd been like, bitch, I ain't got no other clothes. I'm gonna go change it too. I came to a party in a costume. All I got is my drawers. Probably didn't got no drawers on into this. You know what I'm saying? Henry comes up to her, and as Henry is walking around the party, he talks about it's loud, but in all actuality, his abilities from his dad, whose brainwave is kicking in. And so he's like, it's loud. And she was like, yo, you've been distant. Cindy tells Henry, you've been distant. He was like, basically, bitch, my daddy's in the hospital. And she's like, well, why don't you go visit him? That would have ended my relationship. Straight up. Because then she was like, he being too sensitive. We couldn't have been together no more after that. My father is dying, pretty much. He's on life support. You decide to say that this party is more important than what I'm going through right now, but you want me to be with you and you think we should be together. Like, you have no sympathy. You have no empathy. You're just evil. So he finally leaves. Eventually, Courtney... I forgot to talk about this earlier. So while Courtney is following Rick, trying to tell Rick who he is, she catches Rick. We see Rick, because Courtney doesn't see him do this. We see Rick go and get a keg for two teenage dudes. And one of the black dudes has a t-shirt on that says, this is my Halloween costume. Which, for me, and I don't know about anybody else watching this review, but for me personally, that stood out so much because of the day and age in which we're in. With everything going on. Like, my shirt is my costume. Yes, I know people have worn that shirt for years. I know it. I'm not going to dismiss that at all. But it's just like, yo, this is my costume, my skin, who I am, just me as a person. This is my costume. It hit that message. And because also the CW DC shows and many of just the CW shows in general will hit on real life issues. I've always said that. I've never strayed away from saying that. All right, go back to the party. Courtney puts on the Gizmo hat, the helmet from the costume the dude had who passed out drunk. Which, by the way, I want a Gizmo costume now. I just want to be a thick ass swole gizmo with broad ass shoulders. But you pour water on me, all you're gonna do is fuck up a costume I'm probably gonna have to take back and I'm gonna be pissed at you. I'm not gonna multiply. I already did. I got 2 kids. I'm not trying to multiply no more. Have I forgotten myself fixed? Nope, but we thinking about it. Anyway. So she tells him who he is. And then he doesn't believe it. He still doesn't believe it. So she brings in Yolanda and Beth. And like they're still just trying, they're not telling him that calling that Beth is Dr. Midnight. They're just like, yeah, she's here for the moment. And Courtney gives him the hourglass. And they're like, how do you make an hour? He's like, how does it work? He's like, how do you make any hourglass work? Turn it over. And when it starts, you see, again, the visual effects in this show are so dope. Between the effects in the cosmic staff, the effects of what you see with the hourglass, of how it infuses Rick's body. And when this dude crushes a keg at a party, Courtney's like, yo, you shouldn't do this in public. Here's the thing. Can you imagine seeing some drunk dude just randomly crush a keg at a party? I think the last thing anybody at that party is going to do is think that that's a superhero or some crazy shit. They're just like, oh, dude, so fucking strong. I meant to bring up earlier when they were in the party how when Beth looked at the party, they found out all the people that were in there, all the people that were underage drinking, how many adults was only one, and it was like 80 infractions of underage drinking, and that's like a regular party in many situations we see. And I was like, okay, again, the little things they do throughout this show that are peppered in work. You know what I'm saying? So afterwards, Rick leaves the party. He's going home. He's walking, trying to clear his head. Sees his drunk-ass uncle harassing a waitress. And I was thinking initially he was going to go in there and confront dude. But instead, he sees his truck, knocks the side mirror off, punches that bitch in half, and walks off. Like, okay. So as he's going off, you know what I'm saying, he's leaving. You find out also the members of the ISA, the Injustice Society, they're about to steal his satellite dish to help off with Project America. And this dude sold the information to, I can't remember who dude is. He's not, I can't remember who he was in the Injustice Society. And I'm slipping me because I remember some of the members. But they blocked the route of the truck with a bus. And the lady with the fiddle, the Principal Bowen, who Courtney thought was the fiddler, but Pat told her the fiddler was a dude and Irish, which means, and also, I forgot to bring up earlier, Beth runs into the janitor who is Irish. So I'm thinking the janitor is the fiddler, but I want to know what part does she play? Because she may be the fiddler because, again, she could still be the fiddler because the fiddler hypnotizes people, which they did to the truck drivers when they stole that. And shot the black dude, which I was like, fuck, okay, you couldn't just make him jump off a ledge or some other shit like you had the other guy? I digress. Rick, after leaving the party, comes back to the tree where his parents' accident happened. And he still believes it's an accident. And like, yo, why was this? If this couldn't have been an act of God, what was the purpose? And he's so upset and he's getting, he's still powered up because it lasts an hour. And so Courtney is like, yo, if you like this, I can't let you leave with the hourglass because you become a threat, blah, blah, blah. And so while he's so mad and angry and about to fight Courtney and Yolanda, Beth walks up and like, yo, it's not an accident. Your parents were murdered. And he's like, what? And the glasses shows him everything. The moment they're driving, from the moment Grundy jumps in the road to when the car hits the tree, how the tires and the police report was all doctored. Again, visual effects. The way they did the holographic 3D imaging on this was amazing. It did not look cheesy while it was rendered. It did not look like it was forced in. It looked like something that you would see as a holographic projection going through somebody, watching it, looking at it in real time and in real life. And that, again, speaks to the budget that this show has. I think it's just a great thing. And also, he decides he's going to join the team, Rick does, and says, I'm not coming for justice. I'm coming for revenge, which we all know in the stories of any superheroes, revenge actually never serves out well, so you have to try to get justice. Revenge only makes shit worse and makes you know better than them and all the plot points and the basic tropes that we hear. Well, Pat gets a call while he's in the basement looking at Our Man's stuff because Rick brings up the car, the yellow Mustang, that his dad told him to take care of because the car was very special, like he was. And Pat sees the car, you know what I'm saying? Then he looks at the pictures and looks at all the book and gets a call. Barbara tells him he got a call that a truck came to the auto shop. He sees the punching thing, blah, blah, blah. Later on, he goes looking for Courtney because he's putting everything together. Courtney's gone. He goes in Courtney's room, hears the Green Lantern trilling, like it's making a sound. He realizes that Courtney has been gathering all the stuff from the old JSA meeting hall, and she's been making her own team. And it's just like, oh, Court, and that's the end of the episode. I really am into Stargirl. Bit by bit is how I gave you my thoughts on it. I'm really into the show. It builds up well, and I'm kind of glad we got 2 members in one episode as opposed to each episode being a new person, because it would have kind of gotten stale, if you will. I know some people are like, well, why do we have to get a new one each episode? Or I would not have wanted them to get 4, 5 new superheroes in one episode. I think it would have been overkill, and it would not have allowed for the story to grow and develop. You know what I'm saying? So I think it was dope that we got that. I love the fact we don't, in all of the promotional material, in everything we see from the graphics and billboard, we do not know who the Green Lantern is going to be. Now, I have a thought on this. I don't know who it is. No idea. Will it be a member from probably a student? More than likely. Or it could be an adult. But either way, I truly believe whoever becomes the Green Lantern is going to open the door for the Green Lantern TV show, that's coming to HBO Max. I literally believe that Stargirl is going to feed right into HBO Max's Green Lantern, because of the way it's going. Think about it, how it looks cinematically, where it looks like a movie. It has that HBO Max budget. And we know what type of budget they're giving Green Lantern for HBO Max. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what all this is leading up to. But nonetheless, I'm excited for every single episode to come in this series. And I want to know what you think about it in the comments below. And yes, I was on 1.5 speed. No, you did not speed it up. I just did another review for some other shit before this, and I got to do something afterwards. So I was like, let me get through this so I can edit it and upload it to the peoples. All right? Let me know what you thought about this. All right? Like, subscribe, click on the notification bell. Did you like it? Are you liking it? Do you rock with it? Do you kind of trying to get into it? I've been reading a lot of people's comments who said they were hesitant and skeptical at first because of what it looked like. And again, it did look cheesy, like this couldn't be right. And then you watch it and you get into it and you're like, okay, I want to see the next episode and the next episode. So I'm here for it. Want to know your thoughts as well, all right? Follow me Twitter, Instagram, and Patreon. All those links, Mr. J. Washington. Here's the thing. I just added a $25 tier to Patreon. What that tier is called 101 with the Supervillain. What that means is a lot of people have DM'd me, hit me up, asked me, yo, do you have time just to chat? I want to just pick your brain on a lot of things. I'd like to just sit down and talk with you and blah, 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 blah. And so with this, not only is it showing you're supporting, but I'm going to block out an hour of time for every member that has that tier. And we're going to have a one-on-one, unfiltered, raw, just gritty conversation about whatever you want to talk about. We're going to record it because what I want to do is, with their permissions, repost it to show everybody, yo, we're just going to keep it real. No lie. So that's a $25 tier on the Patreon, patreon.com/Mr. J. Washington. Also, check out the Mad Titan podcast, everywhere you get your podcast from, and get you caught up on all the things happening in the Marvel and DC live action and cinematic universes. This is Barbershop Talk for Nerds. So come on in the convo with that. Blurs in the Hood every Tuesday, 2 p.m. live, Pacific time, 5 p.m. on the East Coast. Me, Winston A. Marshall. We do that. Blurs in the Hood on YouTube, Blurs in the Hood on twitch.tv. All right? Holla at y'all next week for another review of Stargirl. Take care. I'm out. Bye.